there, it's Dana. Today I want to show you how to thread a needle and tie a knot, which is perfect for hand sewing. So let's do it. Though I love using a sewing machine, there are times that you need to hand sew a little button in place, or you might want to embroider something special onto a dress or something like that. So let me show you how to thread a needle. I've got a needle right here. You could buy these in the fabric store and online. They come in little packages, in different types and different sizes, and you don't need to get too caught up in all those details. What's most important is how large or small the eye of the needle is here, depending on what type of thread or yarn you're using. And then if you want a sharp end or a blunt end, I prefer sharp just because it goes through the fabric easier. So let's thread it. I'm using all-purpose thread here, which is what I would probably use to sew on a button. And what I do is first cut off the end just to give a nice clean cut, and then I actually lick the end of the thread. That just makes any extra fibers stay together, and you just push it right through the eye of the needle and pull it down. Now when I'm using all-purpose thread like this, I like to use 2 layers of thread. So I pull it down. If I was sewing a button, you don't want to get too much thread because then it's going to get caught as you're going through, but you also don't want to be re-threading a bunch of times. So that'll take time to figure out how much thread you like to use. Okay, here's my trick for tying. I like to lick both my fingers again. There's a lot of licking involved in doing a needle, I guess. Like that. Put it around my middle finger, under my thumb, and roll to create some additional layers, and then pull it with my other finger. And there you go, a little knot. It's not a precise knot, but it's a really fast knot, and it pretty much works every time. And it's gonna be stuck inside of something, you're not even gonna see it. I'll do it one more time. Cut the end, lick, go around my middle finger, under my thumb, roll it, and then pull it closed. A little tiny knot. Okay, there you go. Now what if you're sewing with a thicker embroidery thread or yarn? Well, you're gonna want a needle that has a thicker eye to accommodate a thicker thread. I've already done one here, but let me show you how it got in there. I'll pull that out. I'm gonna trim this again so it's nice and clean. Same process. And this one's a little more difficult because the fibers can kind of come apart. So just do your best, pull it through. And then when you're sewing with a thicker layer like this, you don't typically want to pull it all the way down and have 2 layers. That's going to give you a really thick thread as you're sewing. You might want to stop just right there and tie a knot at the single layer at the end. Same way. Roll, pull. There's our little knot. And then as you're sewing, you go through, and every time you pull it, you pull this little top tail out, but when you're done, you end up with only a single layer of thread. It's totally up to you and your aesthetic of what you're trying to create. Now what if you're threading some embroidery thread or yarn that just isn't fitting through the eye of your needle? Well, you can buy these handy little needle threaders. They come in packages at the fabric store, and I love to have a bunch on hand because sometimes you just need this extra help. It's really simple. Grab your needle again. This little metal part here goes right through the eye of the needle. Then you take your thread, embroidery floss, whatever you're using, stick that through a larger opening like that, and then you're gonna pull it through the eye like that. And then pull this off. And there you go. That's how you thread a needle and tie a knot. For more ideas and tutorials, visit my website, madeeveryday.com. I'll see you next time. Bye.